ourselves. So without further ado, I want to introduce today's guest. I have Meringue with me. So humbled to know you, my friend. I've been following your journey since you arrived. And the miracles began for him early on. So let's just get right into the conversation. First, I want to ask, so the viewers know, what brought you to Rythmia? Why did you come here?
Great question. Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to share my experience and my miracle. I believe that there was a miracle in this. I just didn't know what it was and how I was going to come to it. What brought me to Rythmia was continuation of experiencing the same events in life that I've done a lot of spiritual work outside of this to know that, my perception creates my experiences and my experiences create, basically generate my emotions, and those emotions give birth to my activities and my activities become my habit. And then there's my life. But, through all the work that I've done, I just still, even though I shifted my perception, I was still stuck in facing the same experiences, dating the same person with a different first name, going through the same mistakes, through different experiences. And so I started looking deeper into plant medicine, Mother Ayahuasca, and I looked at different places, and the mother knew that I had to be here, and everything worked out, and I ended up in Rythmia. I'm so grateful for that.
And I love what you just said about how you were doing a lot of work, you were healing a lot, you were learning a lot about how your life was playing out and why your life was playing out the way that it was. But there you were still facing the same story, the same problem over and over again with a different face, a different name. And that is one of the things that I talked about in the Monday class. There's a 3-hour class that we do on Mondays to introduce people to the philosophy of the Rythmia way of working with the medicine. And one of the things we talk a lot about here at Rythmia, and if you know us and you've been watching these videos and you've seen any of Jerry's talks, he talks about this idea of a split that takes place. Something that usually occurs to us all at a young age, typically between 0 and 6 years old. Something happens in our lives that affects us in such a deep level that we disassociate from ourselves. So we come into this earthly plane as these divine full beings. Something happens that we feel that we need to separate from ourselves, typically in a protection mechanism kind of way. And we talk about this as a split, where we become half our soul and then we become a character that we begin to play as a means to keep that little person, that soul of ours safe. And then through life, we move through life, this character perpetuates itself and becomes a bigger and bigger presence, where all of a sudden our soul or our heart or our intuition, for that matter, becomes this quieter voice. And this character takes over. And one of the ways that as an adult we can look and see, like, am I disconnected? Have I split? Am I not in alignment with who I came to Earth to be? Is when we can look and see, like, yeah, this is my 10th career and I always quit because it's my boss's fault. I'm in the same fight with my mom that I've been doing for 40 years with her, and the argument's the same, but it's always a slightly different topic. Am I dating the same person? It always ends the same way, and it's their fault, not mine, That can be a pretty good sign that we're out of alignment, and that split is the void that needs to be looked at and filled. So I love that was part of what brought you here, is this knowing that there was that misalignment. Yeah. So let's talk about your miracle, or miracles, I think, for you.
Yes.
How did you receive your miracle? What was your miracle like?
So I got my miracle the second night. And, one thing, it's so important, intention setting coming into the space, because the intention is really your communication with the divine, with Mother Ayahuasca, of what you want to accomplish. It's like going to a restaurant and you sit down, you order food. The restaurant is going to deliver what you ordered, not what they think you should have, right? And the mother, though she knows what you need to have, she listens to you. And she listens to what you are looking to find. And one thing I was really humbled and I followed direction was coming into the first session and setting the expectation that you need to go through these classes in order for you to get your miracle. Just don't skip. make sure you check in, make sure you go in. And I was so blessed to have had you guide me through all of that and really help me understand what each intention meant. Um, who have I become? You know, merge me back to my soul at all costs, heal my heart. And that was the first start. And you said start with who you've become. You know, don't try to skip. You know, you don't want to just go to a restaurant, sit down, and be like, okay, this is what I want for dinner. This is what I want for salad. This is what I want for dessert, and this is what I want. They're not going to bring it all at the same time. You get one course at a time, then you work through that. And so, what I've become was so important for me because it allowed me to get in contact and touch with that split, understanding what the split meant for me and how through all my life traumas, especially as a child, and this was I came in with the understanding of what happens in life between the ages of 2 and 7. That was part of my study prior to coming to Rhythmia, which helped me a lot. Is that those experiences, and you know, my mom has always loved me, my father has always loved me, people around me has always given me love, but there's that confusion as a child that you just don't know what the action means, and that's where the splits are created. It could be a fight between your parents that causes that split. It could be anything. My mom going to a hair salon and me chasing after her car. Take me with you. And you know, she wasn't trying to break my heart, but my heart was broken, and that causes split. My mom waking up in the morning at 3 a.m. to hear about her dad's passing and start crying, and that became my split. I don't know if you remember talking about this, is that it when I did my first night, I came to realizing that that was the part that I created started to create this a shield with commitment and attachment because I didn't want to go through that pain as a child. I didn't understand it, but that became my experience. And so the first night was for me to really go deep and follow the feeling. When was the first time I felt that? And it started at the later age, and then I went down to earlier. And so cleared that up. The second night I went in, and it was very helpful because one of the things I had done is ask for help. And when I feel that I'm stuck, just get up and connect with the helper, connect with the shaman, and ask for help, ask for guidance. And I did that. Sister Carolina was my savior that night. Oh my God, I can't say enough about her and how she told me, she said, just follow the feeling. Don't forget about forgiving your mom, forgiving your dad, because I was stuck on who I've become. And so when she said that to me, I went back and I followed the feeling. And that was it. That was it. That I in that moment I just found the split, and I boom went right back to who I was, you know, merging back and back myself to my soul at all costs. And that cost was the purge that I hadn't done the way I had done. And that was humbling for me. So humbling. And then I felt my heart heal, you know, and that was the first night. The second night and third and fourth night where the, the miracle really, really came together in such a magical way. And that was with Taita Juanito and, you know, Taita Juanito, Sister Valeska. You know, one of the miracles I got is through this experience, I healed my heart, my relationship with all women on this planet. You know, because, you know, I've always been a fighter for women, but I've always attracted women in my life that had that sense of codependency, sense of need. And it wasn't a partnership with me. And I always felt like I'm going in to save somebody, you know, because I wanted to save my mom from her pain and suffering. You know, as a child, that was my goal. And so uh, the feminine night really helped me, you know, heal that, and that was my miracle that night. But with Taita, it really took me into um, a powerful experience. I went back in time to creation of life, to the very, very, very first creation of life. And it was through sound, a lot of sounds. And I started making these sounds with my mouth. And I was just like, I was obviously conscious, but I wasn't controlling it. And then I say the word Suma. I kept saying Suma. And I'm like, what is Suma? What does Suma mean? I am I saying something right? So, um, long story short, I came and I sought help to understand what Suma meant. And Suma means good. It's a word that comes from Inga tribe in Colombia, and I basically was receiving message from the divine that I am on the right path. Good, keep going, bro, keep going, and I just continued going with that, and so it became very very moments of miracle for me. And lastly, what really I learned, and this was the last night, is uh, patience and trust, because that becomes the greatest asset to help us get there. And what came to me through messages of the divine, that we learn to be patient and to trust, not by the way of outcome, but by the way of process. And that way of process to me was, um, the difference was, in the past I had waited for something to go through, something to happen for me, and go like, aha, I should have trusted the process. But it was more like, because I'm going through my heart desires, and my heart desires are driven by my ego, by my split. The divine desires are the desires that are in alignment with our purpose. And when you open your heart, you receive these desires through your heart, and your brain becomes the translator, becomes the planner. And when that happens, that's when magic is created in life. That's when miracles happen. That's when I got up. I was like, oh my God. And I had lost my bracelet fob that gets me into like classes or whatever. And in that moment, I was like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I was reminded again, because the medicine teaches you every second, every moment. And I'll tell you, this journey never ends even after, because events happen for you to be reminded of who you really are, not who you've become. And I trusted the process, that I need to go focus on my healing right now, my miracle right now. And when the dawn is here, I will find what I've lost. And that really happened. And I wrote about it. It brought me to, one of the things that was important going into last night. Who am I being called to be? What am I being called to do? And who am I being called to be? To finish my part is me, because
The real you.
the real me, not what the society wants me to be, not what my experiences created me to be. And what am I being called to do? And this is why I'm sitting next to you. I'm so honored and humbled to be in your presence, is to really, really share this experience with the world, as finding me is the most important thing, and you finding you is the most important uh, mission you have in life, because once you do that, you connect directly to the divine. And once you're connected to the divine, manifestation is limitation, but the divine, there is no limitation. And you're there, and the universe is your limit.
Amazing. So I would argue to say that, not even to argue, but say that you had a pretty good week.
I had an amazing week. I had an amazing week. I had the most amazing week, and the breath of life, the breath work.
The breathwork classes, yeah.
That's when everything really came together. And you were so right. And I'm going back tonight. This will be my last experience this week. I'm coming back to Rythmia with Taira, Juanito. Oh my God. Sister Valeska, you, Dwayne, everyone during this journey, Dr. Jeff, everyone has been such a big part of creating this experience, and really, really the passion that goes behind helping everyone in this place. From every person that works on this property to every person that has, our group was so beautiful. Like my extended family, and I told them today that we may lose contact, but we are connected for eternity.
On the soul level.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yes. Yes.
Well, if that hasn't brought you to your picking up the phone and booking your stay to come check us out, I don't know what will. That was such a beautiful story. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you for doing this
Thank you.
and staying the course, because I know it wasn't always easy. There's lots of ups and downs in this. There's learning who we become is work. It's work. Yeah. We have to look at parts of ourselves that we often aren't aware exist or are really uncomfortable to look at. But the payoff is always so worth it.
Always.
And now you get to carry that light into the world, brother.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I know it's going to be very challenging. I understand that leaving this property, one, you leave a lot of greatness behind, your extended family, everyone on this property. And you're going to go back, and I know I'm going to be tested on a daily basis. But every single test that I will come about is going to get me one step closer to really reuniting with me and staying true to that purpose and mission that I've been called for. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so
brother.
much. Thank you.
Our pleasure to be here and to have space for you and your growth and your self-empowered journey. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, you can thank the team all you want, but you did this.
Yes.
You did this yourself.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Please tag in the comments anyone you think needs to hear this story, anyone that's on their own healing journey and maybe is looking for something more. Share this post on your social media and help get the word out about plant medicine and the amazing work and healing that we're doing on an individual basis, but that is in fact going to heal the world. So Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.